All right, we are back in action for another week. Foodies BDSM podcast. We deserve smoke and meats. I am Professor Porkloin, and I'm with my awesome co-host.
The Meat Viking.
And we are also continuing our journey. We are almost done. I mean, there's still a lot of states, and then we've kind of we're in finishing up the O's. We're going to be doing Oregon this time,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? This has taken a long time.
Yep.
Like we have done almost a year worth of just the states, and then we've had some double episodes, so I think it's pretty cool that we're finally getting through all this. But um Oregon is the day, and we do have a pretty good funny safe word,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to say that?
This will resonate with anybody who's ever played Oregon Trail. And the safe word today is dysentery.
Because if you have played that, everybody has died of dysentery at least once.
Oh, yeah. So, well, I found something to start us off right, just like you should start any, good morning with some donuts and some coffee. Um, and I guess Oregon is famous for Voodoo Donut. Founded in Portland, Oregon in 2003, they started creating gourmet donuts, which I absolutely love. And they're famous for actually introducing the bacon maple bar. Memphis Mafia, the Canalo, and other 50 artisan flavor options, including 25 vegan options. So, looking down here, they got the Oh Captain, My Captain.
Yeah, with Captain Crunch.
Yep. They have a grape donut, which is a raised ring with vanilla frosting, grape dust, and purple sprinkles.
See, that just doesn't sound good.
That
Like,
one's not for me.
yeah,
Uh,
I don't know if I saw that on the menu because Texas has a Voodoo Donuts, and it's in Austin, and I went to that, and yeah, the grape just did not sound appetizing.
yeah. Um, for those of you who have watched The Simpsons, they have a Simpsons inspired donut called the Homer.
Yes, it looks exactly like the one that he would eat too.
Yep.
I like the
Um,
Marshall Mathers that's got the M&Ms.
yeah, I just now see that one.
Get it? Like Marshall Mathers M&M.
Yep. They have a Voodoo Doll, which is a yeast donut filled with raspberry jelly topping with chocolate frosting and a pretzel steak that looks like a little voodoo doll, which I thought was kind of cool. Um, they have one which is a devil foods cake with cinnamon sugar, cayenne pepper, and a dried root chili pepper called the Ring of Fire. Um,
They've got one that's like is it like a devil's food that has like a pentagram on it?
Diabolus Rex. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. I couldn't remember the name, but I knew it was devil something.
Yeah. They also have your classic like glazed old fashioned donuts, the blueberry cake donuts, chocolate cake donuts that you like. And then their Memphis Mafia that you had mentioned earlier, which is fried dough with banana chunks and cinnamon, topped with glazed chocolate chips, peanuts, and chocolate and peanut butter drizzle. Um, One option that I looked at that I thought would be kind of cool to try is actually a peanut butter and jelly donut.
See, now that sounds better than that grape one,
Yeah.
right? Because you can, I mean, PB&J is just one of those staple things of, yeah, I could go for a PB&J right now and just put it in a
Mm-hmm.
donut. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would definitely do that one. But I think you would probably do that maple bar though, just because of the bacon itself. Like, I
Oh
know
yeah,
how
for
much you love
sure.
bacon.
For sure. Now, I saw two more I want to just throw out real quick. Do you remember Tang orange juice?
Yeah, I remember that one with
So
that
they have
freaking
one.
orangutan.
Yeah, it's called Mango Tango. It's a raised shell filled with mango jelly, topped with vanilla frosting and tang. And then a vicious hibiscus, which is a raised ring donut with hibiscus frosting and black sprinkles. So anybody who's had tea has probably had a hibiscus tea before, which can be very good.
Yeah.
So
I
now,
it wasn't the slogan for Tang, like, wasn't it a kick in the glass?
yep. So,
I don't, that one sounds okay. I think I would try it. Just like
oh
if
yeah,
someone got it and I was like, all right, let me have a piece of that. I don't know if I would go right after that one myself.
right. So this is gonna go into coffee because donuts and coffee is a great morning breakfast, and apparently Oregon has many amazing coffee roasters. I believe Starbucks came from Oregon.
No, I think they came from Seattle, Washington.
Okay, but they recommend trying Stumptown coffee, and this is gonna segue into a coffee type that I really enjoy, which is a hazelnut coffee. And I guess Oregon produces 95% of the hazelnuts in the United States.
That's ridiculous to think about,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like your state produces basically every hazelnut. So if you're over there in Ohio and Florida or whatever, you can pretty much guarantee it's coming from Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
which is wild to think about. But then, we think about the other states too that we've kind of gone through and they're producing, the majority of cherries or majority of whatever. And it's just crazy to think that the agricultural grounds to make hazelnuts is just perfect in Oregon, and it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be good in other states.
Yep. So
But yeah, so they do a hazelnut coffee at this place, or what?
uh it recommends checking out the Stumptown coffee as like kind of the brewery of choice of Oregon. I'm gonna assume that with Oregon producing 95% of the hazelnuts, that Stumptown coffee would have a hazelnut coffee on their menu. Um, if you want to segue into one of your topics, I'm going to see if I can pull up maybe a Stumptown coffee blend, and then we'll come on back to that.
Well, I'll just continue with the coffee then, because I guess Oregon is known, you're right, for some of those coffee, and they have all that, micro roastery things like that. But one thing that I did realize that and I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know if this would be good or if this is fancy or whatever, but they do pour over coffee. So essentially, you have your barista and they wind up taking hot water and they pour it all over the coffee grounds. And you have to wait 3 minutes for that to like seep down. And it's basically a way or a primitive way before your coffee machine, you know. So they have it in little cups, but then you have your filter that they pour all the stuff in,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just kind of wait, and then there you go, there's your coffee. So for someone like you that drinks coffee, is that like, would that be appealing to you, or does that even make a difference?
Yes, it would be. I do believe that you get a richer taste out of something like that. And I actually have something I'm going to screen share that I don't use as often as I would like to. It is known as a vacuum pot.
The hell is a vacuum pot? Oh
This is
shit, you
what the
got
hell
you
is a
have one of
vacuum
those
pot.
things?
Yep. So it's also called a coffee siphon. They're like a super flashy way to make coffee, and I guess they came from Germany in the 19th century. You use like either a metal or a cloth filter, and you end up with a super bodied clean cup of coffee. It is finicky, which is why I don't use mine as much as I'd like to, but I'd like to use it more because I really like the idea of it, and I just think it's a neat thing.
So all right, if you're looking at that picture, you put all the coffee stuff in the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have water down at the bottom that boils up, or how? Yeah, explain to me how that goes.
It's like you've got a little sack that hangs like right here for your beans and stuff.
Okay.
You put your water in here, it siphons itself up, into here, and then it like drains back down. It is a very neat process to watch.
So underneath is that burner then.
Yeah, right here would be your burner. And mine is actually a
Okay.
candle that I have
Okay.
that burns. This looks like it might be more gas powered, but mine's actually like a wick.
That's a cool little handle too.
Yeah. But they also
But
have, I believe, if I go back here, um, you got your French press.
oh yeah, the
I believe,
French press, I've seen that before.
yeah, I believe this is more of what you were talking about, like the
Maybe the bee house. Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
it's the pour over right here. So
Yeah. So basically everything's on top there and it drips right down in that coffee mug.
So
So I wonder what the difference is. Um, again, just because I don't drink coffee or I drink it super rare. Uh, but if you're looking at what you make in your coffee maker, right? Because you're grinding up the beans and you're putting it in the filter, that hot water comes down. So how is that not giving you a fresher than what you would get in this pour over?
as somebody who hasn't tried like the beehive style versus the vacuum pot, I will attest that using a normal coffee maker versus like the vacuum pot, it is indeed a much like richer taste of your coffee. For those of you who are like coffee aficionados, more so than what I am, I believe you would get more tasting notes out of your coffee. But it
Okay.
also goes into like, oh, how do I put this? Like rate of consumption versus rate of preparation. Because like the coffee maker that I have, I can make 12 cups out of that in very little time. Every
Okay.
time I
Okay.
make a cup with this vacuum pot, I'm looking at 6 minutes per cup.
So this would be something that you would enjoy on your day off.
Yeah.
Whereas you need to get out of the house quick. You gotta just suck it up with that coffee maker.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to re-screen share again because this is an example of somebody using it on their website, and it goes over a tutorial of how to actually use the coffee siphon. So let me screen share, and I can get this video playing. It's going over like prep, how to apply the heat, how to measure and grind your coffee. So let's go over just all these videos really quick. So here she's prepping the filter.
That's still fancy as hell.
Yeah, and hers is actually a metal filter that's down at the bottom with a clip attached to it.
Yeah.
And she just attached that to the lip right there. And she set that off to the side. So she's going to add water now into this abacus. So right here, she's just kind of filling that up. And
Yeah,
it looks like she's
okay.
using preheated water.
Yeah, it looks like coming out of a kettle already.
And that's probably just to make sure that you don't have the extra thing. And it looks like theirs you can do 5 cups with. Now she's going to apply the heat. And she has a little Bunsen burner there that she lit. She's actually placing the funnel inside. Okay. Now she's going to measure and grind her coffee. Okay, she's using a digital scale. I do the old eyeball method because I'm a savage.
You don't care if it's super strong or not.
She's probably going to grind up these beans real quick. Yep. And then I believe she's just going to add them directly into here unless she has a cloth filter she's going to put in.
That's crazy to think about, such a coffee scene.
Oh, yeah.
Like you think Starbucks, you think, Tim Hortons and all these other places that do coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Starbucks, like,
So,
dude, think of the coffee scene that you could be just standing out. But I feel like you'd have that gourmet coffee, right? It wouldn't
yep.
be, all right, you got 2 minutes, here's your coffee. No, this shit, I feel like you're going to pay extra and you're going to be the fancy with your pinky up type deal.
Right. Here you can see after she attached the funnel that this water is starting to rise from that bottom funnel all the way to the
Oh,
top.
yeah.
And it looks like she's going to add her beans directly into that.
Oh, that's super cool. All right. Now I
Yeah.
have an idea of how that is. So I guess for all the listeners that can't see it,
She
you might
created
want to
a
just Google it.
Yeah, she created a little whirlpool in there while she put her coffee in. She's stirring that around. And now she's going to turn down the heat. Not quite turn it off. But that Bunsen burner she had is definitely more of like a simmer level. And you're going to continue to stir and immerse your coffee around 40 seconds. Stir it again and kind of like gently fold it in like you would as if you're like folding cheese into macaroni and cheese. Yeah, hers is way more high tech than mine because like I don't have to do steps like 7 right here. I just blow my candle out. And then here it looks like it's going to start drawing from that top to that bottom. So we should
That's super
see
cool.
that. Yeah. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. It looks like she's turned off her heat entirely and removed that Bunsen burner. She's going to move, kind of fold her coffee back in, and there it's going to start drawing up from that siphon again to that coffee, and it's going to go down into there. And then you just serve and enjoy once it's all done.
And that's how you get a fancy ass cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
You got to use the premium beans.
Yep. So.
Well, Oregon, you are fancy when it's coming to your coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of want to move on a little bit, and I think these kind of pair together. And I didn't realize this, and it's really weird, but you can totally see it since Oregon is kind of like hippie-ish. Like Portland is the Austin of Texas, right? With
Mm-hmm.
the keep it weird type deal.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of vegetarians that live out that way. And there was a guy, Paul Wenner, he wound up creating the veggie burger.
Ooh.
And that's basically all he did was use some rice pilaf with some mushrooms and basically grilled it. But the other thing that comes with that is the tofurkey. Did you ever hear that?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, it's tofurkey, which is tofu like turkey, you know. Um, and I think it's interesting that these places created this food out of, I'm guessing, a need. So you have the tofurkey with tofu, and you have this veggie burger using rice and leftover stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
now I've been to like a vegan place before, and it was cool to go to, but I don't know if I would just want to eat that all the time.
Yeah.
Like the chicken nuggets that I had tasted like chicken, and it was actually called chicken. Like it was CHICKUN.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't chicken, it was chicken, and it was like the vegan version of it, and it tasted good.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think that that's up my alley, and that's perfectly fine. But I think I would try this tofurkey just to see if someone got it. I'd be like, here, let me have a piece. But I don't know if I'd go out of my way and be like, yeah, I'm gonna get that.
Well, you know what I always say.
There's a lot of things you say.
Yeah, if your date is into chick on, it's time to chick off.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know about veggie stuff. I've
Yeah.
had it. It's okay, but
I'm
give me the
still weirded
burger.
out by that. Like, they have Burger King came out with their like Beyond burger.
Oh yeah, the Beyond.
Yeah.
Uh, yep.
And I don't know how to feel about that.
Which is really funny because it's about the same amount of calories as a regular Big Mac
Yeah.
or the flame broiled Whopper. Like it's really funny because people are going, oh, it's healthier because it's vegan, it's not meat. But then you look at the caloric intake and you're like, dude, it's the same thing.
Right.
Might as well just eat the other burger.
Now I wonder, where are those calories coming from and what is the, oh god, what's it called? Is it monosaturated fats that are bad for you?
Yeah.
So I can't remember if it's saturated or unsaturated fats, but I wonder what that would look like on more of an in-depth nutritional info.
I almost wonder if you could do the same thing with, like, how people have those McDonald's burgers that don't change for 10 years because they're so loaded with, preservatives.
Yup.
Like, I wonder if this Beyond Meat burger would do the same thing.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, if grocery store prices get any worse, it's going to be to the point where I'm pro Soylent Green. So we'll see. Maybe my attitude on Beyond Burgers will change.
Okay.
So have you seen Soylent Green?
I have not.
Okay. Soylent Green is people,
Okay.
aka Soylent Green would be them eating other humans.
Doing the old cannibalism thing.
Yeah. So
Well, that goes to the old adage, well, do certain cultures taste like you think, right?
I don't know.
Would an Indian person taste like curry because they eat all that? Would a Spanish person taste like, chips and salsa, guacamole?
That's a
Would white,
racist are you are what you eat question.
would white people basically be bland as hell?
Probably. I'm pretty sure I taste like bacon and Guinness. So like I'm on somebody's list.
Oh, I'm sure someone would have that for sure.
Yeah.
This is another one that I think is pretty popular because people know about it. Is the Dungeness crab?
Yes.
You can get crab from California to Alaska, all the way up that coast, and uh, I think it made it popular because of the deadliest catch. And I know that they do Dungeness, but they also do king crab too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like we've kind of talked about crabs, especially when we were in like the Maryland one, the blue crab, and I think Florida we talked about some of the stone crabs and everything too. So
Yep.
it's super crazy to think that 10 million pounds of crabs are coming through Oregon every year.
Yeah, that's a lot of crab.
So I don't know if we really talked about how you do it though. You know, um, when you eat crab, and it's been a hot minute for me, but do you boil it like a crawfish boil
Oh yeah.
with all the other stuff, or do you
Yep.
just boil it and then you put on your seasoning, Old Bay, and everything later on?
No, I like the old crawfish style.
Okay.
I think you get more flavors that way. That's just me personally.
Yeah, see, I enjoy that, and I think it's fun to eat them because you got to crack them, and I
Mhm.
think you get more meat out of that than you would get, let's say, crawfish, and not necessarily lobster because some of those things can be huge.
Well, the funny thing about lobsters, the bigger the lobster, because it's a lot like catfish, the bigger the lobster, the worse the taste.
Yeah, I know.
So, but um
I want to try one of those coconut crabs. Have you ever heard of those?
dude, there's some at our zoo and they're fucking massive.
Yeah, they are. They're huge, but
Yeah.
I heard
They're
that
not
they
like the
actually
size
taste
of a
pretty good.
spider crab, um, which are usually found, in like deeper seas. Coconut crabs are a lot like hermit crabs in the fact that they are more island based.
Yeah.
Um, but I am curious as to what they taste like because I've had coconut shrimp before, and I enjoy me some coconut shrimp.
Coconut crab, they're sweeter because they eat the and drink the milk of the coconut. So
Right.
their meat is a little bit better than let's say a regular one.
Oh, dude, speaking of crabs, have you ever seen how hermit crabs swap shells out?
Yeah, I've seen that.
How they form a conga line?
Yeah.
So that I think that's dope.
Nature's scary sometimes, man.
Yeah. Uh Speaking of nature being scary, I'm gonna have dysentery here.
Okay.
So, with that being said, we've been having some issues with Zoom lately. So we're gonna make this a part two till we can kind of figure out what's going on with our meeting. Um, but for today's episode, this has been a very brief overview into Oregon.